Okay, so for some of the playoff games this season, I've come up with like nicknames for myself. I mean, obviously the Brady Breeze one, and I guess the NFC Championship too. I was calling that the Senior Bowl. But if I had to give a nickname for this one, it'd be the Money Bowl that definitely wasn't rigged by the NFL because Mahomes Brady Super Bowl is going to get you a couple of cents. Um, I should probably get to the prediction before I cause a friggin' controversy. Yeah, Super Bowl 55, Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's get it. Obviously, the Chiefs, this is the second time in a row they've been to a Super Bowl. They won last year, but I think you know that if you're watching this video. I don't even really need to explain this team, but I want more opportunities for watch time, so I will. Offense, they've got some of the most hard to guard players in all of football. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, even if you get a perfect pass rush on this dude, which is pretty hard considering the offensive line, hopefully, not Mitchell Schwartz, Eric Fisher's okay. Patrick Mahomes can just get out of any kind of situation. Obviously, then they've got Travis Kelce, who's like the ultimate red zone threat, huge catch radius, big target. Can perform an ankle-breaking juke, but also drag two guys into the end zone with him. Then there's Tyreek Hill, who's just got game-breaking speed, and it showed in the AFC Championship against the Bills. He had like a 50-yard run at one point that set him up for what was basically the game-sealing touchdown. And at least in the future, they'll look to have a pretty good run game too, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire has shown flashes. And then behind him, they're just doing a committee approach with, Le'Veon Bell and Darrell Williams. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire has a pretty good future. We ain't here to talk about that, though. And then on defense, I feel like there's some guys on defense that don't get nearly enough recognition. Obviously, we know about guys like Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones, all of them. But, I mean, like, there's some underrated people on this Kansas City defense. All the attention's just going to, like, the Honey Badger and Chris Jones, who literally punched somebody last night, but the officials missed it. Bills fans out here mad because of that. I can understand. Like, who's a couple of guys? L'Jarius Sneed. This guy has literally obliterated his expectations for his rookie year. He was, what, a fourth-round pick? Now he might be the Chiefs' best cornerback. Charvarius Ward's a pretty solid player. So yeah, this defense, they've got some playmakers, and it's more than the guys that get the credit. And now we move over to Tampa Bay. They met all the expectations that comes with bringing in Tom Brady. Some people didn't think they were going to get here in their first season. I certainly didn't. I myself was super high on the Los Angeles Rams, which did not particularly end well for me. But Brady's had his best season possibly since he won the MVP in 2017. He had like 40 touchdown passes, and I guess that's because of all the weapons. Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller even. So yeah, that offense is really, really good, especially receiving. They've got a pretty good run game too. Ronald Jones had the longest run of the season, 92 yards, and I personally think he's a future All-Pro. Maybe not All-Pro, but he's definitely going to get in the Pro Bowl at least once. They've got a good offensive line. Ryan Jensen's one of the best centers in football, and so that can open up a lot of holes for the run game. And it also gives Tom Brady a ton of time back there in the pocket. He could usually get through like 2 or 3 reads on every snap before he throws the ball because of the protection. But the defense of this team is absolutely stellar, especially on the run. Their defensive line alone is enough to be considered like the best defense in the league. They've got like Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett, stellar, and William Golston's he's really underrated. He's actually, by the numbers, he was like one of the best run stoppers in the NFL during the regular season, and he barely gets any credit. Obviously, this is the best run defense in the league. But then there's the linebackers, which are absolutely amazing. they've got a duo of two of the best, Levante David and Devin White. I mean, David's an amazing tackler. He can play pass coverage. He had like 5 interceptions his second year in the league, which is actually his only Pro Bowl season, which is kind of wild. Then there's Devin White, who's fast as all hell. He can get in the backfield and take down QBs. He can also tackle and play a little bit of pass coverage. Then the defensive backs, they are a little banged up. I know, actually, both their safeties got hurt. Antoine Winfield Jr. and Jordan Whitehead. They might play in this game. Really not sure. But both those guys have been pretty solid, especially Winfield. He might be the defensive rookie of the year. Alright, so there's like your little preview. Now, for the game, what I'm expecting, I am expecting both of these teams to go pass heavy, but especially the Chiefs. Definitely because of that Tampa Bay run defense. I mean, they could definitely go pass heavy, and you know Mahomes, his ability to extend plays with his legs, which I feel like are still kind of underrated. And, you know, if you get a good pass rush, he'll just, like, throw behind the back or something crazy like that. He had another underhand touchdown pass in the AFC title game. And they'll use plays like those where Mahomes extends the play and junk and all that. Some runs after the catch by Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman, the two speedsters. And then when the time's right, they'll strike with Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the run game. So that's sort of like the offensive game plan for the Chiefs. And defensively, if you're the Buccaneers, you got to get some pressure on Mahomes. That's something the Bills failed to do yesterday, and it came back to bite them in the ass. They got destroyed because of that. You also got to limit the big plays because, you know, Kansas City, they've got the tendency to go on those huge scoring runs, and it usually starts with like a big play to Tyreek Hill. And so you need to make sure that he doesn't easily win one-on-ones in press coverage. And like I said, no big plays, because that's basically writing your own fear. That's writing your obituary. And then offensively, for the Bucks, I would say you also kind of want to go pass heavy, because Chris Jones is a force in the middle. He can swallow up runners, but he can also get to the QB. So you can't get too comfortable, because he could be coming in. They got some pretty decent edge rushers as well. Alex Okafor. Yeah. You got to make sure you have eyes on Tyrann Mathieu at all times, because in the past, like, 5 weeks, he's been absolutely insane. And so you just don't want to take any chances. If you see him on, like, the left, if you see him, like, in the middle, and you've got Mike Evans on, like, a fade route on the left side, you probably got to know Matthew's heading over there. Because, like, there were a couple of plays. Like, one thing that the Bills had trouble with the Chiefs is they did not, like, watch the safeties well. It led to Allen getting picked off once. And so, got to be aware of that if you're the Bucks. Don't want to make the same mistake. I'm sorry, I can't really talk right now, and I'm not sure why. But don't get too pass heavy, because Tom Brady is 43, and even though he's been better this year than he has been like the last 2 years, he is still 43, and so fatigue might potentially set in. So you don't want to let him throw like 60 passes this game. You do need to establish the run, and that'll be easier for the Bucks to do than it will be for the Chiefs. I will give that to Tampa Bay. You need to use your weapons in both the passing game and in the running game, because Leonard Fournette has been really good in this postseason, and he's potentially earning himself some money on the free agent market in the offseason. A good performance leading his team to the Super Bowl title would be a good cap on that. And so there you go. That's basically everything you need to know about this game. As for my prediction, give me the Chiefs here, man. I mean, this offense is so friggin' good. They've countless times they've gone up against good defenses. Even the Bills last night, they've shown that even if a defense is like number 1 in the league, there's not really much it can do. And even if the Bucks get off to like a hot start at this point, Kansas City's got so much experience playing from behind that it could even what's the word here, like beat out the experience of a GOAT who's been in the league for 21 years, I guess. I don't know, man. But I've got the Chiefs here just because, I mean, they've shown that no one can really beat them, especially in like close games or when they need to come back from a deficit. Now, as for the score, I'm anticipating this one to be a little no, not a little close. Like, not necessarily decided on the last play of the game, but I'm anticipating somewhere like 27-20 or 24-20, that kind of score, you know what I'm saying? So not exactly all that high scoring by the standards of the Chiefs, but I think that they will have a big scoring run at some point to erase a Tampa Bay lead, and that's it, people. That's it for 2020 NFL predictions. Hopefully you enjoyed these. Be sure to, give the support. Gotta share this with your friends and everything. Or else you what? Alright. Like Orky said, he's gonna eat you if you don't subscribe, and I'm pretty sure he means that. So, before this video gets too intimidating, I'ma be out of here. Peace. See you next season.